Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yep, what's good, original crew, man? We're back with another body cam for y'all today. You feeling good?
I feel alright.
I feel you. Today's body cam, we have man realizes he unknowingly helped a killer. What if you pulled into and they're like, hey, we know you helped. You be like, no, I ain't helped with nothing. And they got all this evidence proof, and they're like, you linked to the murder. But you not knowing not knowing that you helped somebody do something like that, you know?
But baby, y'all better figure out a way to make sure that, I don't know.
Y'all better figure out a way to make sure y'all can unattach me to this.
Because I ain't have no parts. Not like that. You know what I'm saying? I was just being a good Samaritan or a good friend or a good family. I don't know. But,
That's what you gonna call it?
That's what it is.
That ain't what it is. That is not what it is.
All
Girl,
right.
you know you helped that man. That's what they're gonna tell you. Girl, you know you helped that mind.
Come on.
You gonna be like, I don't know nothing about that mind. Do I look like Terry Howard mind? Hey, with that being said, before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want the first part, you gotta do it. Check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
I can't even put a thumbs up.
what you looking for? A pad?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I just use this.
Good choice. Good choice. Yeah. Man, let's go. I'm done with you right now.
I've been done with you.
Let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's about. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get it.
911. Hello? What is that? I'm sorry. I just want to see my family. I want to see my family again, please. What's your name? My name is Denise. I'm your beautiful husband, and I just want to see my kids again. Please, God, please protect me.
An oceanside community becomes the site for a massive search and rescue operation when a 21-year-old woman vanishes from her home in the middle of the day, leaving her 2 young children behind. But police won't learn the savage truth about her disappearance until they get it from the most unlikely source. A desperate 911 call the young mother makes from her captor's cell phone.
Can you see, or do you have a blindfold on? I can't see.
Now, in a shocking case that would leave a lasting impact on Florida law, police must fight through a sea of deception to bring her home before it's too late.
Are you gonna help me? Are you gonna let me out now? Oh, please. Don't. I lost him. Chris, I lost her. The guy grabbed the phone from her.
It's January 17th, 2008, and Nathan Lee is on his way home from work. He hasn't had many chances to call home that day. Just a couple of brief calls with his 21-year-old wife, Denise, who is caring for Noah, their 2-year-old, and Adam, their 6-month-old infant. Last he heard, she was giving the boys haircuts on the back porch, but he hasn't talked to her in 3 or 4 hours. He calls again, debating whether to stop for groceries on his way home. But when Denise doesn't answer, anxiety creeps in. After 2 more calls go unanswered, his confusion turns to worry. Perhaps she took the kids to the park or went to the store herself, but it was odd of her to not carry her phone. With his worry turning slowly to fear, Nathan arrives home at approximately 3:30 in the afternoon. Denise's Toyota is in the driveway. That's a good sign. When he goes up to the front door, he tries the handle. It's locked. Another good sign. Everything seems to be normal. It's not until he unlocks the door and steps inside that he begins to see signs of trouble. Denise's cell phone is right by the door, plugged into the charger. It shows 7 missed calls, most of which Nathan himself made on the way home. Strangely, the windows are shut, even though Denise told him that morning that she was opening them for the cool January air. With every step he takes, he calls out to Denise. thinking that she's perhaps in the shower or otherwise occupied, but there's no answer. The most distressing sign of all, though, is his children. Adam and Noah are in Adam's crib together, something that Denise does not allow. Both of them need their diapers changed. He cleans them up, his mind racing to figure out where Denise could be. It's unthinkable that she would have left their children alone in the house, and besides, her purse, her keys, and her phone are all right here. He calls Denise's father Rick, but he hasn't seen her. Alarmed at the news that his daughter is suddenly missing, he promises Nathan that he'll be right over. In the meantime, Nathan's fear has coalesced into panic, and he can wait no longer. He calls 911.
Northport Emergency?
Yes, I just got home from work, and my wife, I can't find her. My kids were in the house, and I don't know where she is. I've looked every single place, and I don't know.
Your kids are at home by themselves?
Yes. No, I know. I don't know where Mommy is.
She's never done this before?
No. I don't, no. I mean, I've been home almost 10 minutes now. I haven't seen her.
All right, Nathan, I have an officer en route for you. If she does return home by the time we get their calls back, let us know, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
But unfortunately, Denise does not suddenly appear. Someone does arrive at the house, however. It's Denise's father, Rick, a sergeant with the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. But while his proximity to this mystery may have a subtle effect on the attention it receives from law enforcement, this isn't his jurisdiction. Northport is in Sarasota County, so all Rick can do is make suggestions to the responding police, as he later explains to detectives.
I go, can I please get my helicopter, my dog? And she goes, well, we're not at that stage or something because we don't even know what she was wearing or anything like that. And I go, well, I really don't care what she's wearing or not. If there's a girl or something laying in one of the woods, we'll be glad to stop and check, even if it ain't her. You know, it doesn't matter. I just want to get the helicopter up. We're not there yet. And I go, can we please, has anybody talked to the neighbor? And she goes, no. And we haven't talked. And I go, can we, well, we're not there yet. And I'm going, okay. And that kind of made me mad.
The responding officers may not have much interest in speaking to the neighbors quite yet, but Denise's husband Nathan heads next door.
I knocked on the door, the boy answered that lives there, and I asked him if he'd seen my wife, and he said no. He said, your wife? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know where she is. So I haven't seen her. I didn't know there was anybody else in the house. I guess that girl that was the witness, she was home then, but she didn't say anything.
Police eventually do talk to this girl. She reveals that she did indeed see something that afternoon, and what she tells them adds a horrifying new dimension to this already disturbing situation. Here she recounts that afternoon with investigators.
I was sitting in my living room, and a green Camaro kept driving by my house, so I went outside, and he pulled into the neighbor's driveway. I made eye contact with him. He seemed normal, so I wasn't too suspicious about it. I just figured he was lost. I saw him. He had light hair, was tall. It was anywhere between 1:30 and 2:30, so I would probably say around 2 o'clock. I was just sitting here watching TV, and he drove by probably, I'd say at least 4 times, just driving creeping back and forth very slow.
The new information is distressing, and Nathan can't help but begin to wonder about the factors that might have led someone to target his wife.
Something that always made me nervous, and I couldn't get mad at her for it, but I know she generally walked around the house in a shirt, just a shirt and underwear, and she didn't necessarily have all the blinds shut all the time. I'm just remember a couple times just going, the blinds are open, and she always say nobody can see, because our house is obviously secluded.
Denise's father has his own theory, not far removed from Nathan's.
She was on the back porch cutting Noah's hair. And the back porch, what I'm talking is you go out these 2 sliders, and it's just like a little screened-in enclosure, about not much big, maybe a little longer than this, but about this wide. And that street's a circle, and if you're coming from the back street, you can see the little high chair that you were sitting in.
That's all wide open?
All wide open. And in my mind, he figured.
The mere idea that a stranger in a green Camaro might have spotted Denise from the road is eerie and sickeningly random. Then again, Maybe it wasn't exactly a stranger. Nathan tells his father-in-law something that could give police their first solid lead.
He goes, the guy that works on drives a green Camaro. He goes, I think we found a green Camaro. He goes, and we ran him, and he goes somewhere in Norfolk to check him out and all this stuff. And then maybe a little smart ass, I guess. I go, did you ask my son-in-law Nate if the guy that works for him ever been to his house, seen his house, know where he lives, right? That's a good question.
Police speak to Nathan's co-worker, but his car is a much older body style than the one reported by the neighbor. This particular individual appears to be a dead end, but police issue a be-on-the-lookout alert for the car in question, and the multi-agency search team finally has something solid to look for.
Look for a light-colored green Camaro, too. Light-colored green Camaro. We know approximate year, owner, new model.
And it's going to be actually a darker green Camaro, and it's going to be probably an early 2000s, late 90s model.
Even with police beginning to swarm the streets and helicopters taking flight, it won't be easy to find a single green Camaro in the area. And unfortunately, it's been at least 2 hours since the car was spotted in the Lee driveway. With I-75 running straight through Northport, there's no sure way to know if the Camaro is still in the area or if it even is connected to Denise's disappearance. Back at the house, Nathan and his father-in-law are getting anxious.
And I go, listen, guys, get out there, stop every friggin' green Camaro you see out there. Ralph's still standing there. I go, Ralph, what are you doing? I was told to stay with you. I go, you get your fucking ass out on that goddamn road. I don't give a shit. You stop every goddamn green Camaro.
Police are combing the streets, but nothing comes of the early search for Denise. It's as if she vanished from the face of the earth without the slightest trace. The police need something more to go on, and at 6:14 that evening, they get it in the form of one of the most chilling 911 calls imaginable.
911. Hello? What is that? I'm sorry. I just want to see my family. Hello? I want to see my family again, please. Hello? Hello? Please, I just want to see my family again. Let me go. Please let me go. Please let me go. I just want to see my family again. Okay. Hello?
The woman on the other end of the line is frantic and desperate. That much is clear from the sound of her voice, but she's not immediately responsive to the operator's questions.
And I wonder, is the operator even picking up what she, you know what I'm saying? Picking up that she's individual in distress, even paying attention to the conversation that's being had, you know what I'm saying? Or is the operator just like, hello, you know what I'm saying? Cause I know how you be like with the,
I don't be like that with every operator.
No.
No, like right now, I'm like, yeah,
right.
I'm cool.
Which makes communication difficult.
What is the address that you're at? Hello, ma'am? Where are we going? I gotta go up and around now. Up and around where? Can you see that? Exactly right. 4 streets, 5 streets over from your house. I couldn't get everywhere. What's your name, ma'am? Hello? What's your name? My name is Denise. I'm your beautiful husband, and I just want to see my kids again. Your name's Denise? What's your last name?
Against all odds, it seems that Denise has somehow managed to call 911 without letting her captor know that she's on the phone. Now she's tasked with not only getting vital information to the operator, but do so without alerting him to her call. The operator begins to catch on to the dangerous game being played on the other end. But if the voice in the background belongs to Denise's kidnapper, he too appears to realize that something is amiss.
I'm thinking too that he doesn't know. Please, God, please protect me. Are you on I-75? Where are we? I don't know. Please. Please. Where are you at? Can you tell if you're on I-75? I don't know where your phone is. I'm sorry. Denise, do you know this guy? She might have the phone laid down and not hear a thing I'm saying, too. He keeps saying about the phone. I don't know where it is. Maybe if I could see it, I'll find it. What's your address? What's your home address, do you know? I don't know. Please take me to my house. Please take me home. I'm okay, please.
Can you see, or do you have a blindfold on?
I can't see. Mommy.
Can they turn off the radio or turn it down?
You have it for me. I can't hear you. It's too loud. Hey, are you gonna help me? Are you gonna let me out now? Help me.
Don't. I lost them. Chris, I lost her. The guy grabbed the phone from her.
The call ends abruptly, but the police spring into action, gathering every detail they can. Even as its grim implications bear down on the family, police know it's a powerful lead.
Next time we hear something on the radio about a 911 call. And I go, 911 call? Yeah, it's from your daughter or something like this, or someone calling in, 911, saying she's been kidnapped. And name's Denise. And I go, holy shit. Now it's the worst nightmare coming true.
Even before police can trace the owner of the cell phone, another 911 call comes in. It's from a girl named Sabrina, and she has bizarre information that adds even more urgency to the situation.
So what's the problem?
I just got a call from my dad, and his cousin came over his house with a girl in the car, and she was tied up. And the girl came got out of the car, and my dad's cousin went and put her back in the car. And when she got out,
Okay, where's your dad's house?
It's in Northport.
Do you know the address of it?
He wants to be anonymous. His cousin left.
Okay, what's the cousin driving?
What the fuck we want to be anonymous for?
Facts.
Motherfucker, you know, bruh, some dudes be weird, bro. I'm not trying to be anonymous in a situation like that.
No.
I'm calling police. Hey, just
like you don't have
John,
anything to do with anything.
Hey,
but you see someone in danger. What? Like what?
Hey, John, what the fuck you got going on? You done brought this shit to my house. Right. Oh, hell no, John. I'm calling police.
Being anonymous, right. Don't bring none, right.
You leave the fuck off of my property right now, and so you leave, I'm calling 911. I'm letting them know which way you went. Giving them all the information. I'm gonna be anonymous. No, you been.
I have somebody.
No, you been a coward.
Or I have somebody try to call, like be low key and try to stall and keep you there longer and try to hope authorities get there before you catch on and leave. Because anything can happen within seconds, minutes. True. You know what I'm saying?
But at least if something does happen, we can get them right away. You know what I'm saying? But I get what you're saying. Like the rescue is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But
it's sad.
A green Camaro.
Where would he be going with this female?
He came over to my dad's house, borrowed a shovel, a gas tank, and something else.
Motherfucker, you gave him a shovel, a gas. What the fuck you think he doing?
Especially you just seen a girl tied up in the car.
Even if he borrowed this shit before
you seen her still,
that's still red flags. What the fuck you need with a shovel? Just again, we don't know his name. His name is John. I'm gonna just say his name is John. What the fuck you need with a shovel, John? And you want a gas tank? No. Cause hey, can I borrow a shovel? You plan on doing some yard work? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The operator ultimately gets a street name from the girl and finishes the call with a crucial question.
All right, what's the cousin's name?
His name is Gary King.
Gary
King, yeah. Oh, it's not Gary King, it's Mikey King.
Michael King?
Yeah.
Okay.
Police now have...
How the fuck we get Gary and Mikey? His name is Gary King. Oh, no, his name is Mikey King. How you confuse those two?
A name to put with Denise's kidnapper. Not only is 36-year-old Michael King the registered owner of a 1994 dark green Chevy Camaro, he's also the owner of the phone Denise called 911 from. Investigators rush to his address.
Yeah, there is a TV on in the house and sounds like voices inside the residence. Have you got the vehicle there? Well, it could be in the garage. There's a new car garage and then a single car garage that's next to it, and there's no windows, so I can't tell. But it does sound like there's voices on in the house. The neighbor directly next to him advises she believes he's possibly home and does park his car in the garage. He does still drive the Camaro and does still reside in Sardinia, and to her knowledge, he is home.
Police knock repeatedly on Michael's door, but no one answers. Knowing that too much time has been wasted already, a Northport police sergeant gives his men the go-ahead.
I want entry made on that house.
10-4, the 2 marked officers at the front make entry. The 2 uniformed officers make entry.
Police force their way into the home of the man they now strongly suspect kidnapped Denise in broad daylight. Inside, though, they find a house that's not only empty of occupants, but of almost any furnishings whatsoever. Even so, someone has been here. The television is blaring, and so is a small radio. In the master bedroom, the police uncover a disturbing scene. A long piece of cloth is carelessly tacked over the window, perhaps to isolate the victim. As a rumpled Winnie the Pooh blanket lies on the floor, what officers discover next to this dismal makeshift bed is truly horrific.
We do have duct tape watered up in a bedroom with long strands that look like light brown hair.
In the kitchen trash, they uncover another matching wad of tape with similar strands of a woman's hair attached to it. The evidence clearly indicates that something troubling happened in this house today.
If you're real comfortable that there's nobody in that house, go ahead and clear out and secure. 10-4, everybody's cleared.
The discovery of this terrifying dungeon makes it all the more apparent that police are facing an extreme emergency. If this man, Michael King, is willing to kidnap a woman out of her own home, right in front of her 2 kids, bind her, and bring her back to his lair of darkness, he is a man capable of unimaginable evil. At this point, finding Denise and returning her to safety is more urgent than ever. Finally, at a little past 9 o'clock that night, a Florida highway patrolman sees approaching headlights on one of Northport's main highways. Trooper Pope knows his vehicles, and those headlights have a distinctive shape. He stomps the gas and gets behind the vehicle, which immediately gets on I-75 going south. The orange street lights make it difficult to determine the color of the vehicle, but it's definitely a mid-90s Camaro.
Northport units, FHP has a vehicle stopped at 178 southbound, 178 southbound. Tag is verified by FHP.
It's him, Michael King. This day's agonizing manhunt has finally come to an end. The only question now, will Michael surrender and give up his victim, or will he engage in a final violent standoff with police? Trooper Pope is ready for either scenario. Michael has had this innocent woman in his clutches since at least 2:30 this afternoon, but his reign of terror has come to an end. Trooper Pope can't see a passenger, but it's dark and he's positioned well back from the Camaro. Denise could be tied up prone in the back seat or even in the trunk. His gun drawn on the suspect, Pope orders Michael out of the car, but the order falls on deaf ears. When Michael continues to disregard Pope's commands, he finally threatens to shoot at the vehicle. Following this threat, Michael finally steps out of the vehicle and is immediately placed under arrest. But he has chilling news to deliver. Pope observes that Michael claims to be a victim of a devious kidnapping. However, the evidence found on Michael and his vehicle reveal another story. Michael's jeans are wet from the waist down. His shoes are wet and caked with mud. In the car is a wet shovel, dirty with the same fresh mud. But worse than what he sees is what he doesn't see. There's no sign of Denise.
Units responding to the interstate. Michael King is 1012. The female is not 1012 with the vehicle.
With Denise still missing, Pope is in no mood to play nice. Michael once again claims to be a victim as Pope continues to badger him for Denise's location before putting him in the car. It's a bittersweet end to the manhunt. Michael King is in custody, but the whereabouts of Denise Amber Lee remain unknown. Northport police detectives arrive on the scene, and Michael insists once more that he is a victim. Just like Denise, I was hijacked, he tells them. He clearly knows exactly why police pulled him over and what they suspect, but he is committed to a very unlikely version of the story. The frustrated detectives decide to play along for a short while. They ask Michael to lead them to the places he and the girl were taken by their mysterious abductor. And though Michael says that he was blindfolded for much of the time, he agrees to take them to a couple of isolated wooded areas where he believes they may have been during this wild ordeal. Unsurprisingly, a search of these locations yields no discoveries, much less the finding of Denise Lee. They take him back to the station for questioning, but it becomes quickly apparent that he has nothing of value to share.
At one point, did you tell that trooper, you say that you wanted a lawyer?
All the way through.
All the way through?
As soon as they put me on the ground.
That one trooper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All of them, actually. I was telling every one of them.
Okay. And at one point, when you saw me, you saw me, you told me that you come out to me and said you were the hostage. You were a victim, you were a hostage.
Which what he's finna indicate is so true. If you are a hostage, right, and you were a victim,
why are you
screaming, I need a lawyer?
Right.
If you are a victim, along with her, you are trying your best to do what it takes so you can recover her as well. And not you. That already screams, you got me.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk because I want a lawyer.
Yep.
Did I tell you what now?
Do you recall that?
I told somebody.
You told me that you were a hostage and that you were a victim. So you started the conversation with me when we finally figured out that you were saying that you were, a victim as well.
Right.
You understand that? Okay. So that is true?
Right.
Okay. You understand right now you're being detained for questioning.
The detective then reads Michael his Miranda rights in full.
Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us here now?
No, I just want an attorney.
You want an attorney?
Yeah, because I don't think that's right.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, it's a better have attorney.
Okay.
It's clear that Michael's story isn't fooling anyone as detectives continue to question him about Denise's troubling disappearance. The gravity of the situation hits home when police find a heart-shaped ring in the back seat of the Camaro. When they show it to Denise's husband, his profound anguish speaks volumes.
Is this her ring?
Yes. That's not the first ring I gave her. First Valentine's Day.
How confident are you that's her ring?
100%.
Did the ring slip off her finger accidentally, or did she cleverly remove it at some point as evidence of her own abduction? Police can't be sure, but they know one thing. Denise was in the back of that car. Meanwhile, although Michael refuses to submit to an interview, he opens up about the events of that day to an investigator who comes to sit with him. Unfortunately, very few of his details seem to make any sense.
Man, a bad day.
Sounds like it. I don't know. I just got to work. I'm working here at night, so.
Just got hijacked. That's all I know is a bunch of crazy shit.
Hijacked?
Well, when I pulled over to the side, like I said, he grabbed me and threw me in the, across the passenger seat and, and
how he...
and threw me in the, across the passenger seat and, into the floorboard and put some...
Anybody throwing your big ass anywhere?
Especially that car.
Anybody throwing my big ass anywhere?
No.
Alright. In that little ass Camaro.
And I'm like, don't be talking to me. You said you want, don't say.
In that little ass Camaro.
In that right. Be for real.
Boy, it ain't even easy to get your ass in that motherfucker without being thrown in there willingly. So
stuff on my legs and hands, and then he duct taped me.
In your own car?
Yeah, man. Fucking have to be quick at him. Open the door, just grab right here. Right to the floor, man. Just shut up. And just, put my hands on my back and put, tight, like something tight, and I went around my ankles. Man, I couldn't even move, man. He's like, you move, I'll just kill you. Just shut up. That's what happened.
Whoa, I didn't know about all that.
The cop patiently explains to Michael that his refusal to cooperate doesn't exactly back up his story.
Well, I guess
what I'm learning here is you're claiming to be a victim.
I am, but
okay.
I don't understand
but no one can help you or no one is helping the situation here. We can't talk to you because you said you didn't want to talk to us, is where we're at.
Well, they don't know if I'm going to stay here or can I go or what?
Motherfucker.
They don't know.
I can't help you unless you want the help, or I can't talk to you unless you want to talk to me.
There's no way if you had an attorney or something like that I could talk to.
He think that shit finna get his ass up out of the trouble. No, the fuck, you finna go sleep night in the cage.
And find out
right.
So I can get out of here. That's the only way to do it, I think.
Okay, so what are you saying?
I'd better have somebody I can talk to that I can talk to to get me out.
You're welcome to use this. I can't tell you anything else. I mean.
So am I being arrested then? For anything? I mean, they can't hold you unless you're going to be arrested.
That part, I honestly don't know.
I mean,
but the gist of what I heard is you said you were a victim.
But they're holding me against my will. I get handcuffs. I mean.
Yeah, they're definitely detaining you. I can see, we both know that.
Michael isn't the only one at the station that night. Northport detectives have also brought in his cousin Harold, whose daughter called 911 earlier that evening. Harold himself called police that night as well, although he was far less forthcoming.
I'm not sure exactly what the emergency is exactly, but I think there's somebody that's been taken without they don't want to be where they need to be.
Uh-huh.
And they're in a 95 green Camaro from Northport somewhere.
Okay, and how do you know this?
I know. Just,
do you know where they are?
I have no idea.
And who did they take?
Some girl taken anonymous, and she didn't want to, I don't think she wanted to be where she wanted to be.
Do you know who the guy is?
No.
Anything else you can tell me?
No.
And,
Did she say, do you know who the guy is?
Nope.
Man, you a bitch. Harold, straight, that's some straight bitch ass shit. Either call the police or shut the fuck up. One of the two.
Because why you calling but you don't want to give... Your daughter already called and gave more information than you did, so what was the point of calling if you didn't want to give any information and then lie about your relationship with him?
And most definitely, if I see my cousin doing some shit like that, nigga, I'm calling. Fuck you, you weird ass motherfucker. Family, what the fuck ever. Man, you too old, bro. Because at the end of the day, imagine if that was your daughter.
Facts.
You have a grown daughter that called the police, right? Imagine somebody took your daughter and they pulled up to their cousin's house and they saw. You would want them to call the police too, right? You want them to tell all the information they know, right? But you just gonna act like a little bitch.
Some girl taken anonymous, and she didn't want to, I don't think she wanted to be where she wanted to be.
Do you know who the guy is?
No.
Anything else you can tell me?
No.
And,
let me let you go.
Can you give me anything else?
If I can find you something else, I will.
Okay, can I get your name and number?
No. I get involved with that.
Okay.
When Harold comes...
They already got your name and number, dumbass, as soon as you call 911. And they get your address.
Comes to the station, having been readily identified by his daughter, he gives police a much fuller version of the story.
Mike King came over and...
You know what's the sad part is, Harold? If you just move with a sense of urgency and let them know all the details,
right away,
then Denise could still be alive. Because you want to be a coward little bitch and not rat on your cousin. He's already did some foul shit already.
Gives police a much fuller version of the story.
Mike King came over and he walked into the kitchen. Well, I need to buy a gas can and shovel and flashlight. Okay. I got a flashlight in my room, one that worked. Walked out the trailer, got him a can and shovel, gave it to him, and then he said, "Oh, gotta go." Headed towards his vehicle, was parked across the road, and I see him in there wrestling with somebody, and I heard some girl say, "Call the cops." And he goes, "Oh, don't worry about it." And he took off.
When you called your daughter, what did you tell her?
I think I told her that I think something's up because Mikey had someone in the car that I don't think she wanted to be there, and she said, "Oh, you need to call the cops." I said, "Yeah, I know. I mean, and run over to Mikey's look and see what's really up." You know, he's in the past. He's had some girlfriends that are really. I hear from his mother telling my mom that some of these girls were kind of out there. You know.
Could you see if anything was binding her in any way?
His cousin came over his house with a girl in the car, and she was tied up.
Because did she say she actually had got out the car?
Yeah, but keep this in mind, though.
I'm saying the daughter. Didn't the daughter say he had told her she had got out the car?
But you call your daughter. Don't know how long it took you to call your daughter.
Don't
but
know.
You call your daughter, relayed all this information to her.
Now she turns around.
And then she had to call the police when you could have just called the police from the jump. How much time did you waste before Michael left and you calling your daughter? Cause so much time. Seconds. It matters. It matters.
Every second matters.
It's so important.
Cause 9 times out of 10, the little coward ass bitch, Mikey wasn't gonna do shit to you. He want to harm and do things to women. He ain't no. You could look at it and tell he ain't no threat to nobody. To no man for real. Let me reiterate.
Yeah,
to a man. So he a sick ass individual. And you just said my mom's and his mom be talking and she be telling, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, bro.
So you already know he on sick time anyway. I'm not giving him no gas can or no damn shovel. The fuck you need with a gas can or a shovel?
And also, you didn't even...
automatically... If somebody... If your cousin, the one, you know what I'm saying?
It's already red flags. Like, it's no sex. I don't have to think about that.
He pull up over here talking about some kind of get a gas can and shit.
A flashlight, a gas can, and a shovel. At whatever time of night it was. Or day it was. Whatever. No. What? That's... I already know you up to no good.
Mikey, whatever you up to, I don't want no parts. You go ahead.
And also with this, you wasn't for sure if your daughter was going to call or not. It's the fact that you gave her the information, and as a woman, I already know that something's up. I am calling, period. You didn't even know if she actually was going to call. You told her, got off the phone, did whatever you did, and then I don't know how long it took you to call after you know what I'm saying? Okay.
Bro, this shit's sad, bro.
If she wanted to call the cops, she would have been out of there by then. I'm assuming she must have been back.
But you didn't say anything?
I didn't say no.
It appears that the police aren't quite certain they're getting the whole truth from Harold, but he's not entirely uncooperative. However, they aren't just interested in hearing his side of the story. To fully understand why he may have done something like this, they need to hear from those who know him best. People like his current girlfriend and her grandmother, who say that Michael has hit a rough spot in recent months.
And to my understanding, Michael King is your boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you and he been seeing each other?
It would be about a year, off and on.
Okay. Other than him filing for bankruptcy, are there any other issues, I guess, or any problems that he might be going through right now?
Does he have any
I mean, how is he doing at work? Are there problems at work?
He's not working right now. He put some applications in, and the people were supposed to get a hold of him for the plumbing, and he has that.
Up north or down here?
Here.
And is that why he decided to go back to Michigan?
Yes.
Police learned that Michael spent much of the last month up north in search of employment. When that didn't pan out, he came back to his house in Northport, leaving his 11-year-old son behind with family. The house itself stands empty because Michael left most of his furniture at an ex-girlfriend's house after they broke up.
There's no furniture in the rest of the house.
Just the bedroom?
No, there's no furniture. When I was with him, there was no furniture.
There was just an air mattress
on the floor. Air mattress.
Oh, there wasn't an air mattress? They slept on the floor, okay.
Oh, okay.
Police now have a perspective on why Michael's house is so barren, but so much about their strange suspect remains a mystery.
I didn't know him that well. I've seen him on maybe 4 or 5 occasions, but he really seemed to be a nice young man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It appears that the two seem convinced of Michael's innocence, but the same cannot be said for his cousin, Harold. Following his own interview with police, he goes in to see Michael. Police leave the camera rolling as their suspect launches once again into his tale of a highway hijacking.
What are you doing? I'm not, man. I got hijacking. I got told you that. I couldn't. I tried to put 911 on the phone and everything. So I called T, fucking wouldn't say nothing, instead of kill. You know, crazy. I couldn't do anything. If I said anything, then he would have took everybody out. And I didn't have anything in my garage or anything. He was pissed off. What would I do? Put everybody else in harm?
Who was it?
I don't know, man.
Somebody in the street seen it, and somebody called. Next thing you know, I got cops at my house. Like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do here?
No, you did the right thing. I didn't know how to say it to you without... for you to call without him knowing.
Was there somebody else in the car, you mean?
Yeah, and he had to be... The only reason I had to have his phone on. You know, the phone. And he hear everything. If it's one mistake, I'll come in. That's it, all of them. I didn't want no problems.
Michael's story isn't getting more believable with these added details, and one wonders if even his cousin is startled by his audacity.
Can't they ask her or anything? Can't they just... Did they let her go? Do you know?
I don't even think they found her.
So all they gotta do is find out from her. He said he'd let us both go if we did everything we said.
We have to find her.
That was the deal. You know what I mean?
Michael's story remains absurd to anyone but Michael himself, and the detectives have grown tired of his refusal to cooperate. They're also determined to make sense of his spotless record, which gives no indication that such a shocking crime could be coming. When they speak to a woman named Stephanie, however, she has an interesting story to narrate. The statements made here are not verified and only depict the opinions of the interviewee. Stephanie, whose husband was friends with Michael, says that Michael would try to turn her against her husband with lies about his unfaithful behavior.
Like, he used to buy prostitutes before he met me, and he was, a bad person, and this and that, and just trying to, just fill my head with, stuff about John. I don't know why, but he convinced me to go over to his house for one day.
And you don't remember why?
Well, it was because he was saying all that stuff about John.
Okay.
So it made me mad, and I believed him.
Okay.
And so I stayed there one night, and we rented movies and watched movies.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like the whole entire time I was there, all he was doing was telling me more and more stuff about John. And then I was like, no, that's not true.
Girl, he was trying to get them draws. He's trying to make you hate your husband to the point where you like, fuck him, and then you go into this outraged mood that I'm going to get you back. I'm going to just fuck your friend. That's basically what he was doing. So manipulation shit. And she said he was friends with the husband, right?
I think so.
Why would he come and want to tell you anything? People weird. People weird. This is a weird case, is it not?
Because, I just knew it. I knew he was lying.
Stephanie tells the detectives that she spent most of that day and night in Michael's bedroom, drinking the beer that he bought for her on the way over to the house.
And John didn't consume alcohol with you?
John and I?
I'm sorry.
Mike,
Michael. No, okay.
You had sexual intercourse with Michael?
Yes.
Okay. But that was consensual?
Yes.
You sure?
I was drunk.
Okay.
Was it consensual?
So I don't really know.
When you realized that you were having sex, explain to me that, or how you came to realize that was going on, if that makes sense.
Well, it was like I was sleeping and I woke up.
And he was engaging in intercourse with you when you woke up, it was already going.
Yes.
Okay.
The story speaks to a different sort of man than the one his girlfriend's
What that sound like, see?
Exactly what it is.
You consciously don't even know what happened. You could have literally passed out. He took advantage of the situation.
Yes.
When you came through from being passed out, you just like, this what we doing. And you really can't in your head realize that if I told him yeah or no, because I'm so drunk.
And he's not.
Yeah,
he's in his right mind.
No, that was an assault.
He took advantage of her.
Grandmother referred to as a nice young man, and it isn't the only one. Police also speak to a 13-year-old girl who says she had a chilling encounter with their suspect less than a year ago.
What the?
Okay, I got off the bus, and then I called my mom to ask if she can come pick me up, and then she couldn't because my dad was in the reserves. So then I kept walking home, and then I turned on, then I saw the Corvette pass me, and it turned on the street that I usually go on home. And then I turned on to, I think, Kinlock, and then I turned on to Stokey, and then I saw him again. He drove past me, and then I turned on to Vulgate, and then I saw him pass me again, and then I kept walking again, and then I saw him pass me again.
Don't this sound very familiar, y'all? Yeah. Did he not do that to, what's her name, Denise? He saw her in her backyard with them kids, or she had already took the kids back in the inside. He saw her, because typically if you cut hair, I couldn't tell if they had a patio. Did they have a patio in
He
it?
said it was like a little enclosed area or something like that. I can't remember.
But he was talking about the sliding door.
The sliding door. Okay, yeah.
But I couldn't tell if they had a patio on the back. So say, for instance, you cutting hair on the backyard, you might want to sweep, clean up a little bit, take the kids in the inside, right?
Yeah.
Her husband said she normally have just a T-shirt on. You know, he rolled through, he saw her.
Yeah.
So his stunt mind is he has to circle back and forth, build up the courage to say, okay, let me do it. You know what I'm saying? But even with this little girl, what's she saying? It's only a matter of time he was going to escalate.
Yeah.
Harold, man,
And then I took off running home.
Her mom called the police, giving...
You said...
Harold, his cousin.
The cousin.
The cousin.
Was you mad because he can call right away?
Yes.
Okay, got you.
Turned on to Vulgate, and then I saw him pass me again, and then I kept walking again, then I saw him pass me again, and then I took off running home.
Her mom called the police, giving them the tag number of the Corvette. It comes back registered to Michael King, whose house on Sardinia sits only a couple 100 feet from the bus stop. But when police stopped by Michael's house, they found a man who seemed to have all his ducks in a row. Detectives speak to the officer who responded that day.
He basically dispelled my alarm. He said that he was in the area looking for a house to rent because this house happened to belong to his parents and it was for sale, and there was a for sale sign in the yard, and he had a couple flyers from the rental flyers that was in people's yards that were in those areas, and he said, no, I was driving around in that area and basically looking for flyers, and he showed me a couple of them. I ran them through NCIC and documented it on the notes and closed it out.
King may have had a convincing story that day for the cops, but for the young girl, there was little doubt about his intentions.
Pretty safe to say that you got the impression that he was, there because you were there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Freaked you out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's one reason why a lot of people be not hero case, but a lot of, especially young ladies, are afraid to call the cops and inform the cops because one indication, he's a cool dude.
Oh, he doesn't give me any red flags. Oh, he's just looking for, you overreacted.
Maybe
I know what I felt and I know what I seen and I know what it is.
Maybe it's hard for y'all to see because he reminds y'all somewhat of who you are. You catch my drift?
Scared you pretty bad?
Yeah.
Soon, police hear from another woman who used to work next door to Michael's place of employment. She tells police that he exposed himself to her in the parking lot about a year ago while she was pumping breast milk in her car.
He purposely faced me. I mean, he could have, if he had to go to the bathroom, he could have went behind a tree or, turned his back. But he purposely stopped right in front of where I was and exposed himself. And I saw, a weird look on his face. I don't know what he was doing, but I didn't want...
Weird, like what?
I don't know. He just kind of had his mouth open. I don't know if it kind of looked like a pleasurable look. Something of that sort.
These disturbing stories paint a different picture And after getting their suspect a new outfit, the detectives let Michael know that their mission isn't over yet. The search teams are still aggressively looking for Denise, hoping against hope to find her alive.
You let me down, Mike.
Huh?
You let me down. Now I'm going to have to go find her myself.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to. And I've got 100 other people that did. Why are we doing it like this?
I wonder what happened, you know.
Come on. That isn't working no more.
Yeah,
There are 20 people out there, TV station, sitting up front waiting for you right now. We've been up for 28 hours and we'll be up all day now because of you. Think about telling us where she is, all right?
But Michael isn't giving up his claim of innocence, leaving the Northport police with no alternative.
You're under arrest, Michael. For kidnapping. For right now. For right now. Till later on today. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
I wondered, did he bury her alive? Or...
Put it this way, Mike, this is only the beginning now.
Because even if he buried her alive...
It's a beginning that will start with Robert, a work associate of Michael's who initially tells police on the night of Denise's abduction that he has had no recent contact with their suspect at all. The next morning, however, with news of the kidnapping dominating the local media, Robert goes to the police station to reveal that this wasn't exactly the truth.
When I was on my way to Knights Trail Park, that's when Mike called me. And I told him I was going to the gun range, and I actually invited him.
Far from having had no recent contact with Michael, Robert reveals that they went shooting together only a few hours prior to Denise's abduction.
He said he had a 9mm, but he said, I don't have any ammunition. I said, well, that's no problem. I said, I have a 9mm too. I said, I got a box of ammunition. It's no big deal.
Robert tells the police that this conversation took place around 12:30 yesterday, but he can't be more precise than that. He explains to the detectives that he erased Michael's call from his phone log because he didn't want his wife to see it.
I didn't want her.
That's weird in its own.
Unless the wife don't like him because she like he probably give me weird vibes, or he seems like he a strange guy or something like that, and don't really want him associated with him.
But even as a guy, you pick up on vibes of a guy being strange and weird as well. I ain't gonna hold you. You do.
Some do.
But then he didn't have any ammunition for his gun. You low-key gave him the ammunition for his gun.
Y'all cool. He know you had it. He know you go shooting.
As soon as you invited him, there's an opportunity to get ammunition. But there was also an hour and a half before the abduction, right? So I wonder, did he already spot her previously before? Or was this so random?
It's a good question.
Her to know I was talking to him. I know she doesn't like him.
The detectives understandably find this deleted call suspicious, and it's not the last red flag Robert throws at them. Still, they let him finish his story.
Oh, God.
What was he driving?
He had that green Camaro, and it did have a black bra in the front of it. But he was by himself.
Robert tells the detectives that he and Michael stayed at the range for an hour or so before calling it a day.
Did he say where he was going after he left the range?
He told me he was going to go home.
Robert's story would appear to clear himself of any wrongdoing, but the detectives can't help but feel that there are portions of the story that Robert is leaving out.
Did you lie to that detective last night and not tell her that you seen him that day?
Well, yeah, I guess technically it would be considered a lie. It bothered me all night.
All right, let's talk about this.
First thing in the morning, that's what I wanted to tell her.
Okay. The detective's on the phone with you, and she's telling you and asking you some questions about Mike, right?
Yes.
And you fail to tell us, law enforcement, that you were with him that day at the gun range. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
It's pretty huge, don't you think?
Robert insists that he didn't realize the incident was this serious and that his only motivation was keeping it from his wife.
Well, she must be quite a tyrant, huh?
Well, she's not a tyrant, but she's very jealous. And
why would she be jealous of a guy?
It's not of a guy. It's the fact that, if I'm not actually working, then I should be home spending time with my family and not going off to the gun range.
This won't be the last time detectives speak to Robert, and they will learn that he still hasn't told them the full truth about his recent involvement with King. Before they can delve more into investigating those details, a police search team makes a heart-wrenching discovery. On January 19th, 2 days after Denise went missing, investigators are searching an abandoned development site when their canine catches a scent in the air.
I saw a large sand pile there, and we continued to walk. As I approached that sand pile area, it kind of opens out a little bit, and he pulled the leash out of my hand and took off into the little wooded area there. And that's when I saw the area and stopped, looked at it, showed my observer, Kim, and said, that just doesn't look right. And I said, see how the soil is different, starts from here, stops there, and the bahia grass was all laid across the top of it with the clay sand that you could see. I thought I saw several packed footprints along the edge. Once I started seeing that, I said, we need to move out because this may be something, we don't want to contaminate it, so we moved out.
Detectives come to the scene and quickly find something that confirms their worst suspicions.
And they started to walk in. As they walked in, either Eckerd's foot kicked the little sand piles that were right before you walk in. They're like dinner plate size, little patches. They looked odd when we walked in. He either kicked it or his foot caught it, and when it flipped it over, there's all this blood underneath of that. And that's when we all said, whoa, and then everybody backed out.
Convinced about what they might find, investigators begin digging in a disturbed patch of land, and at 3 feet, they discover the naked body of a woman, buried in a shallow grave with a gunshot wound to the head. Nearby, a single 9mm shell casing is found in the overgrown lot. This eerie discovery raises serious questions about Denise's fate, who had made a 911 call just hours earlier. That's more than can be said for Michael's evolving story. In jail, he tells a corrections officer an astounding account of what happened to Denise that night. And if what he's told police thus far about the kidnapping is ridiculous, this story takes it to a whole new level.
He said that he met this girl behind his house in the back of the woods while they were... behind his house? Behind his house. He goes, they had sex 3 times that day, and it was all consensual. He goes, we went out for lunch. She wanted to go out for lunch. He goes, then she started getting worried about her husband or her boyfriend. He goes, I don't know who, if she was married or not, that somebody was going to catch them. So instead of going all the way to her house, he told her to get out of the car a couple blocks away on some dirt road or some road off to the side there in Northport. He didn't mention no street name or nothing like that. And he goes, and then when she started walking towards her house, that a helicopter from Charlotte County came flying by, and that they're hovering pretty low, and that they shot Amber King.
Did he say when you say?
No, I'm sorry. He says, yeah. He just said that they shot her. I says, you're telling me that a policeman shot her? He goes, yes. I says, well, what did they do? He goes, they took off because they were scared.
King went on to explain that he reacted to this insane turn of events in the way any normal person would.
I says, well, what did you do? I says, did you actually see her get shot? He goes, yeah. He goes, I saw her. He goes, I saw the blood coming out of her blonde hair, out of her hair. And that by the time he got to her, that she was down on the ground, covered in blood.
Boy, your lies sound...
Just lying just to be lying. Like, bro, nothing makes sense. In his head, it makes sense.
No, he's been thinking of a way to make it make sense. But nothing makes sense.
Because there's no possible way you thought of this story was like, yeah, this is the one right here. No.
Because you ain't even thinking about certain answers because you don't know what they going.
So stupid.
Because if the truth, it flows. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a lie, you try to prepare yourself for what the question that they might answer. Ask.
Yeah.
So you can answer correctly, but you can't even, without them there already asking, you can't even,
I said, well, what did you do? Did you try to help her? He goes, she was already dead. He goes, and I got all freaked out and scared. He goes, I done something I probably shouldn't have done. He goes, I buried her body.
Who can say who Michael hopes to convince of this outlandish version of events? Maybe himself, something that Denise's father must face when he's asked to identify his daughter's body. With his positive ID, the ugly truth about Denise's fate is confirmed. In his interview with police, Rick recalls a conversation he had with Nathan, his son-in-law, about the monster who took her from them.
He's kicking himself in the ass, Maybe we shouldn't live down there. I can make nothing.
You can't do that?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing he done. Nothing she done. He's just a piece of shit. I can't say it. And one day we're going to be able to go to court and tell him that.
From here, however, the investigation will only intensify, because although Denise has finally been found, the discovery came too late. Police know they have the man responsible for Denise's death, but what they don't know is whether or not he had help, and there are 2 men who were in contact with him on the day of the incident who can help them get to the bottom of that question. The first being Michael's cousin, Harold. They call him back to the station, where he tells them the same story about Michael's visit to his home that night.
I think that you're giving me this much. Okay, just listen to me, Harold. I think you're giving me this much, and there's a lot more. I'm not. Your cousin's where he is now. We can't change that. All you can do is speak for this girl, okay, Denise. Right. And I know that you're holding back something because it just doesn't make sense, okay? Because I'm going to tell you this. I know she called 911 when she was at that house. And from listening to the tape, it sounds like she had gotten out of the car, was trying to get away or something because she was huffing and puffing. Harold, I need the truth, buddy. I really do. Your daughter, okay? Yeah. She calls us before you call us. Right. Okay.
Because that's the only thing that makes sense, right? Is how she got his phone. Because he had to get out the car. He left his phone thinking she probably wasn't going to be able to reach it because he already got her, like, I guess, bound and stuff.
Because she couldn't be in the trunk because it's that little ass Corvette.
She's in the back, right?
Mm-hmm. She's in the back seat. He's not thinking she was going to be able to reach what you said.
And when he got back in the car and whatever, he looking for his phone.
Not even he got back in the car. Like they said, she got out.
Oh, well, she got out.
Remember the phone call, the daughter said that her dad said that, she got out.
That's why
he in the interview tried to say,
mentioned that.
He said he was getting back in the car and had a scuffle.
That's what he said. He did say that. Yeah. No, man, she got out and you seen you saw her in the car.
And you saw her tied up. You saw her trying to escape.
Yeah.
And you didn't help. You could have helped.
Nothing. You did nothing. Absolutely nothing. If I see something like that and I do nothing, I would not be able... Bro. Really?
You didn't help, bro. And it ain't even bothering you. You can tell he's just like...
I don't want to be involved. I don't want to...
It's not even bothering you, bro.
What?
She had an opportunity to, because it was multiple voices at one point on the phone call. It was hers, it was Michael's, and it sounded like another man was in the background. They were like having a conversation.
Yeah, I don't, man.
And she tells us that that you told her that you saw a female that had gotten out of the, listen to me, had gotten out of the car, was tied.
Look. And anytime you try to, yeah.
No. I didn't, no.
No, coward.
You told your daughter exactly what happened.
You look coward ass bitch.
Like that.
Listen. We know.
Told her that you saw a female that had gotten out of the, listen to me, had gotten out of the car, was tied up. And he grabbed them, put her back in the car.
Well, he was doing something outside the car. I didn't know. I couldn't tell what he was doing. I didn't see nobody tied up. I didn't see anybody.
Okay. What did you see?
I seen a girl on the front seat when he was climbing over. She was in the middle of the seat.
Fucking liar,
The detectives
bro.
don't believe
Bitch
they're getting the full
liar,
story
bro.
from Harold, and they ask him to take a polygraph. He agrees, but hours into the test, the administrator has some bad news.
What I'm telling you, when I scored the chart, you didn't do so well.
No,
yeah.
He lied.
Looked like it.
You noticed that too, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to hit the score button. What's that say?
Extreme deception. Yeah.
Extreme deception indicated.
You know a lot more than.
So let's have the real story.
What if he
said I don't want to go to jail?
What if he actually took her back to your house? You knew the whole time. And maybe he knew he could take you.
Go to jail or anything for this shit?
You said you're going to jail.
No, I don't know.
I know you feel. Listen, I know you feel bad. Okay? I know you feel bad. But you got to move on in your life. You can't hold this in you.
Harold admits he saw a little more than he let on previously.
Well, I have it pretty much the same when I said it, except for I see them wrestling by the front door with somebody on the other side of the car. Mm-hmm. And they put her in the car and to the seats, but I didn't see her tied up. I didn't see anyone get out.
He's still fucking lying, bro. He's trying to take, bro. You're fucking lying like a. You saw her tied up because you told your daughter this. That's the person you was gonna be truthful with. Because why would you add that information to your daughter if you didn't see it?
It's like you like trying to convince yourself that you didn't see what you seen, even though you already told your daughter that you seen it. Because now, like in hindsight, you thinking about it, you like, dang, I seen her tied up. I did nothing. Do you like?
It's like he's trying to remove guilt that he feels off himself.
Off himself, and I'm like.
But deep down, you know what you saw.
You know what you saw.
But you can't, or you trying to make it less on your cousin? Are you trying to insinuate there's a possibility that she was actually with him? He didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't kidnap her. It looks like they were just together.
They
were
together.
Arguing.
Maybe they was arguing. She wanted to leave, and he probably convinced her to stay, or whatever. Whatever the case may be.
You know your cousin. Because you even said, I heard the conversation my mom would have with my cousin.
Facts.
So, with my cousin's mom about him. So you know, even his mama know he a sick-ass motherfucker.
Facts.
For her to even want to open her mouth to go have these conversations, where it sounds like either her sister or her cousin, somebody close to her, which is your mom, she even know he a sick-ass individual. Everybody know he a sick-ass individual. You just want, man... Harold, you deserve to go to jail.
Okay, let's see.
I don't know. I'm just pissed off.
The car, I didn't see any of that, but it upset me quite a bit.
Why is it upsetting you?
Investigators now move on to speaking with the second man who had contact with Michael that day, his friend Robert, who went shooting with the suspected murderer mere hours before Denise's kidnapping. When he speaks to detectives again, he reveals that he wasn't entirely honest the last time he was here.
So that's 2 times you wasn't honest. You weren't honest the first time they had a conversation with you. You wasn't honest, 100% honest. Are we even going to get the honest truth this time?
Who knows?
Nobody's being honest. No one is being honest. Weird.
And that he was hanging out at Mike's house a few days before the abduction.
We got an issue here? You realize this?
No.
Yeah. We really need to think about what we're saying. Hey, you put your phone down. Okay. This is important information. This is information that we should have got the other night. This is information that you didn't mention this, okay? So listen.
Understand how this has anything to do.
This is a lot. Okay, this is huge. I think you've lied, okay?
Okay.
You know you have.
I lied about the other...
You lied a lot about a lot of things right now, and I need you to help me.
I'm not purposely trying to.
We have a lot of loose ends that we have to tie up here.
And I understand that. I wouldn't be here.
I need your help. We
need your help.
We need you.
I'm trying to...
He don't respect her. Because every time the man, he shuts the fuck up. But as soon as the woman gets ready to talk, birds of a feather. I ain't saying that's on him. But you and Mike don't respect women at all.
No trying that, okay? This trying class is over, okay? Do.
With Robert's answers, the detectives ultimately accept that they stem from his desire to keep the peace in his marriage, and not from any active involvement in Michael's sadistic crimes. However, he can't rule out a possibility that will undoubtedly haunt him for years to come.
And I remember seeing that there was a few bullets left in the box, and I remember saying to him, you're welcome to shoot those off, because I didn't really want to keep them, and, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. And I remember him saying, no, it's no big deal. He was kind of done, and that was when we were at the end of our
So you're not sure if that his gun was loaded or not, is what you're saying?
No, I'm not positive. I know that I didn't see him load it. I know that he didn't ask me for any shells. I know that I didn't, other than offering for him to shoot those, I didn't say, here, take some with you or anything. Afterwards, after the officer came over and after all of this stuff came about and it became a reality to me, then naturally I'm thinking, oh my God, there's a possibility that he could have taken a couple bullets and put them in his pocket for all I know.
Indeed, police send a gun expert to the Knights Trail shooting range.
What's his name?
Robert.
So Robert, you so fixated on my wife. I didn't want my wife to know I was hanging with her, but I'm gonna go to the gun range with her. I didn't want my wife to know I was talking to him on the phone, so I deleted his contact at the call log at my phone, so she wants to see the. I wonder how she think about it now, since she know you was heavily involved hanging with him. And if you didn't go shooting with him, he doesn't have bullets. So I wonder how your wife really feel about that.
Yeah.
Should have left your ass.
To compare casings on the ground with the one found at the crime scene. The expert concluded that 3 casings at the range are an exact match for the 9mm casing found near Denise's shallow grave.
That's what you got.
Police never find the gun itself. And while Robert makes mention of Michael's limited skill with a firearm,
he was kind of embarrassed because he was all over the target.
The autopsy reveals that he needed no particular talent. The gunshot wound on Denise's face indicates that the gun was pressed against her temple when it was fired. Wow. After terrorizing the 21-year-old for hours, Michael King coldly executed her in an abandoned lot while her family prayed for her safe return. Wow. The autopsy also tells the ugly truth about Michael's depraved desires. His DNA is found inside Denise, and a physical examination shows overwhelming evidence of sexual assault. Michael is slapped with new charges, including first-degree murder. If there is any solace to be had for Denise's family, it must come from the fact that law enforcement did everything possible to make that happen. Unfortunately, that solace is short-lived. One piece of information soon comes to light, and it's a big one which could have changed the outcome of this tragedy.
I pulled up to a light. I don't know the name of the cross street, but I was on 41, and I heard some screaming.
On the day of Denise's kidnapping, authorities fielded several related calls to 911, one from Denise's husband Nathan, another from Harold, Michael King's cousin, and another from Harold's daughter Sabrina, and of course, a blood-curdling call from Denise herself. But there was another 911 call that night. It came in at 6:30 p.m., only 16 minutes after Denise's call. It was from a woman named Jane, who was alarmed enough about the car driving beside her to notify the police.
And I was at a stoplight, and a man pulled up next to me, and there was a child screaming in the car. Not a happy.
What kind of vehicle was he in?
It's a blue Camaro,
It's nighttime.
That's what I was about to say. It's 6 o'clock in...
6:30 at night.
In January in Florida.
In Florida, it's nice. So it will appear darker because it's already dark green.
Yeah, it's like a forestry.
My God.
Like in the 90s or early 2000s or something.
Okay, it was a baby or?
No, it was a child. It was more than
how old?
You know what? It's dark, and I turned to look at him, and he's a white male, sort of light-colored hair, sort of plump. He's behind me now, and I tried to slow down so he could pass me and I could read his license plate.
Ma'am, don't hang up, okay?
I'm not. Okay.
Jane's details didn't precisely match the information given to dispatchers and police that day.
But in the operator's mindset, you gotta all those details gotta come into light, right?
Is this all? I'm still gonna be on it
because there was an Amber Alert at the time. There is an Amber Alert issue because she went missing at 2. Y'all have a lot of details by now. By 6 o'clock,
and my thing is, y'all be so fixated on the color of the car don't match. The color of the car. She said it was a Camaro.
She said
that's all I need.
She said a 90s at least early
Camaro.
2000 Camaro.
The guy, he looks like he has light colored hair.
And she said,
white male.
I can't be 100% detailed about the color of the car because it's dark.
And regardless
and she's
of the
an older woman.
And regardless of the fact that she's saying that, it's a child, she heard a child, the fact that that should be alarming. She's
21, she's going to have a high-pitched voice anyway.
But that's going to be alarming too, that you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still going to try to follow up on it. Where are you at? Can you stay on, like, something? Like,
and like she said, I tried to slow all the way down so
to get a license.
But he ain't want to do that.
But they were certainly close enough that they should have generated some action. At 5'1" and 109 pounds.
Oh, she just 5'1", 100. Yo, she gonna appear to be a child. She's little.
She's tiny.
That's like your niece if she's in screaming in the car. People gonna automatically assume her being a child. She's just little.
She's tiny.
She's
shorter than that, and way less than that too.
But she's gonna automatically appear as a child.
If you see, like, but she's in her 20s. Actually, yeah, they're around the same age.
Denise could have easily been mistaken for a child when seen through dark windows and traffic. And whatever discrepancies there were, it's clear that Jane was seeing something alarming in the other car.
And there's a kid in the back seat, and they kept banging on the window.
And it was banging on the window.
And screaming.
And crying.
And screaming. Like screaming.
And if I can hear her screaming and crying out of my car to make me call
it's alarming.
The only information that she 100% had wrong was that it was a child. Anybody can confuse the color of a car at nighttime. It's fucking January.
And the reason why she keeps
what time? 6:30?
It was around 6:30. And the reason why she keeps saying screaming, because if I'm saying it's a child and it's crying, you would just assume that it's just a crying child, just crying.
Screaming and banging on the fucking window.
Screaming and banging. I need you to know that this does not seem right. My gut is telling me it's not right.
Because in January it gets dark around what time? 4:45? So it's pitch black. Yeah. It's pitch black dark at 6:30 at night.
Yeah.
So yeah, she might be confused on the color of the car, because also the car is behind her. If he had passed her, she was able to get the license plate. She would have also noticed that it was green.
Y'all could have ran the license plate.
Because her lights would have flashed on the fucking car.
Exactly. Jane did what Jane was supposed to do. Jane did all she could.
It's a lot of balls dropped in this situation.
Screaming. And not a happy scream, like, get me out of here scream.
Given the fact that law enforcement had no knowledge whatsoever about Michael's location at that time, Jane's in-progress sighting could have made all the difference.
Yeah. Okay, now it's green, and the green arrows, and he's going now.
He's turning left on Toledo Blade.
Yeah. Do you want me to turn? Try to follow him, or?
Okay. Does he want her to follow him? Okay. Can you turn?
He just turned on Toledo Blade. I don't know if I can catch up. There's a bunch of traffic and I can't get over.
Jane doesn't have the opportunity to give chase, but the dispatchers have more than enough information to pass along to officers. Unfortunately, the information never gets to them because by this time, King had left Northport and entered Charlotte County on US 41, where Jane had spotted the Camaro. However, her call had passed into Charlotte County despite Sarasota County and Northport officers handling the case. Confusion reigned in the dispatch center that night as the supervisor tried to establish a single patch between all three areas handling the case. This, combined with the shift change that was happening at the time, led to her call being...
Fuck a shift change, this is a hot...
...filed. Police on the ground and in the air, all of whom were desperately searching for Michael King's green Camaro at that time, never got the information. Michael didn't get pulled over for another 2.5 hours, by which time Denise was already dead. According to documents from the internal investigation, a Charlotte County dispatcher later acknowledged she messed up and was suspended for 60 hours for failing to send deputies to respond to Kowalski's call. Another dispatcher was suspended for 36 hours.
Now, we've all heard screaming. We've heard roller coaster screams, screams at the light, horror movie screams. I've never heard a scream like this in my life.
Could Jane's call have made the difference between Denise's life or death that night?
100%.
Her husband Nathan certainly thought so.
It really could have.
Also,
it definitely could have.
Sometimes your fucking common sense has to fucking kick in. I understand you got protocol to do on it, but sometimes common sense overrides training. Yes, Jane, can you follow the car? But keep a distance so he won't think you're trailing him, because just in case. I'm gonna get a deputy headed your way immediately.
And at that point, since he would have been in front of you, if she was able to, if y'all would have been like, yes, follow him, and she could have like turned and caught up with him or whatever the case may be.
Because he was in front of her now.
License plate.
He was in front of her now.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And so also, y'all know y'all in search for a Camaro at the time.
I don't care what color. I don't care if they said freaking color was black. It's a Camaro
that matched the same description.
And he matched it. I'm still, because you just never know. It'd be like small little things like that. Well, they said it was green. Well, this person said it was blue, and this person said it was black.
And y'all had the technology at the time to run. Say, hey, Jan, can you continue to follow? And can you obtain the license plate number? We can run it in the database.
Yeah.
It would have automatically indicated. You could have said, hey, Jane, I know you said it's blue, but could it possibly be a green color Camaro? It could.
Yeah.
Man, bro. The fuck? Denise did not
Kudos
deserve
to Jane though, for calling, being attentive, being like alert of her surroundings, and like not hesitating to call, willing to follow him. Like,
and you know what's so crazy? So many people subliminally has been trying to help this bitch ass motherfucker.
Oh, Michael.
And his cousin. Oh yeah, hell, Michael.
Is the suspect.
Howard and Robert have subliminally Harold. I said Howard. Fuck him. I don't give a fuck
Harold
what his name
and
is.
Robert.
His cousin and his friend subliminally been helping his ass out.
And I don't know if y'all trying to help him, or the fact that y'all seen him and y'all
or helping yourself,
and things were kind of alarming, and you felt like you did nothing because you didn't, but you didn't really do much, and now it's like this guilt thing, or you like, since I seen him and I seen something, I seen him and I seen something, but I didn't really do anything. Could I be held responsible as well? Because, like, I don't want to go to jail. If you just tell the truth and tell us what you seen, you called 911.
But Robert, I don't want my wife finding out.
Boy,
she gonna find out anyway.
Like, okay, shit done hit the fan. What we still hiding stuff from my wife from? This is way bigger than anything. Be for real. Like,
I ain't gonna lie.
This is somebody's life.
This pissed me off.
Your wife will be okay.
And Harold, you a coward ass motherfucker. I mean, what's his name? His name Harold. The cousin.
Yeah.
Such a coward, bro, because she was outside of the vehicle. You saw her tied up. It was at nighttime, but you saw her because you wouldn't have indicated that with your daughter.
In the coming years, he would form a foundation in his deceased wife's name, aimed at improving 911 systems and training across the country. His efforts would help push the Denise Amber Lee Act through the Florida legislature 2 years after Denise's murder. According to news sources, Governor Charlie Crist signed the bill into law in the summer of 2010, mandating state certification and standardized training for all 911 operators. 2 years after that, Nathan Lee filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office for their failure to handle the 911 call properly. He and his family walked away with an undisclosed settlement, but nothing can ever compensate for losing Denise. In the meantime, the wheels of justice moved against the only man responsible for Denise's death. Michael King was convicted of premeditated murder, and on December 4th, 2009, nearly 2 years after Denise made her courageous and chilling 911 call from the inside of Michael's Camaro. In agreement with the unanimous jury recommendation, the judge sentenced Michael Lee King to death. Today, 16 years after Denise's tragic murder, Michael sits on death row at Union Correctional Institute in Rayford, Florida.
That's what I was saying. I was like, he can get the death penalty for that.
Florida.
Because it's multiple. It's just not murder, But it's the multiple crimes that's committed.
Multiple, and then you was
going kidnapping, essay, and a murder, and disposing of the body.
Did he go into another state with her?
No,
it was just another city, another county. Oh, okay, yeah. Another county. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah. But, it's not federal. It's not.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. But rest in peace to Denise. First and foremost, because my goodness.
I ain't gonna hold you. 911 did fuck up though.
Yeah. You know,
they fucked up.
I was gonna try to just wait and see if someone, gave me a little hope.
They fucked up a lot.
Because I know all of them are not horrible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
But you gotta call them out when they fuck up though.
I just most of the ones I hear, and I just be like, man, something has to give. Like, y'all have to do better. Training has to be better. Like, there's no way that across the board everybody just don't give a fuck, nonchalant, got an attitude, unprofessional. It's just so much, and I get it. Y'all have so many calls and frustrated and dealing with your own stuff, but you sign up for.
That is true. Did nobody tell you go file that application? You know what you signing up for. Deal with the job.
When you walk in the door, you need to leave all personal shit
at home.
At home or outside the door, and that's just that.
Mm-hmm. Man, y'all spam us up, man. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it for us.
Please do.
I'm sorry. That case pissed me off. There was so many opportunities, bro.
So many facts.
But again, let us know y'all thoughts and opinions down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are. We out.
Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners.